these tall chairs, ladies. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I refuse them on principle. So.
At least my panties match my shoes.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to sit for
It's a natural. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I think I speak for a lot of folks in this room where we all know that Dream Master absolutely rules. It's, you know, it was a movie that kind of came out, 3 did pretty well, but 4 came along and it changed everything. So I'm curious for the 4 of you ladies, what was your career like pre-Dream Master and how did it shift after? And I guess Lisa, we'll start with you.
Was it pre-Dream Master? Well, I had just finished UCLA, theater arts degree, and I had done 1 guest star on Hardcastle McCormick. Most of you are too young to probably remember that show. Okay, right on. And then I did I had a role on General Hospital for about 6 months, and I did a little stint, teenage pregnant girl on Young and the Restless. And I'd only done 1 film called Give Me an F. And at the time, it was called The Big Cheer. Fabulous, it's funny. Sandy, are you here? She loves this movie. Anyway, it's really fun. But I hadn't done very, very much. And then the opportunity came up to audition for what's happening. What are you doing?
I'm filming them, and I turned it around on us, and they're laughing. I'm stealing the limelight. I'm so sorry. You did not need to do that.
So typical. Right. You want to just talk for me?
You see the spotlight, and you just lose your mind.
Anyway, sorry I'm taking so long to say this, but so there really hadn't been very much. But I was always a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. Since I was little, I loved vampires and paranormal and ghosts and horror. What the hell is it about?
There's a sideshow going on over here. It's Brooks and the Follies.
And you know what, Brooke?
She hasn't been to a panel in a very long time, guys. So.
All right, Brooke, do we need to put you in the corner?
Shut up now.
It's time for discipline.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just let her calm down. There we go. Okay, so I was put up for the role, and my manager said, no, they won't see you, And my headshot at the time was the black and white headshots, remember, ladies?
Yes.
And, I had blonde, the mascara, the 80s makeup, and all that. So it was not at all their vision of Alice whatsoever, okay? So, but anyway, Annette Benson, who was the casting director, she tells me the story. They went through hundreds of actresses in LA, and they couldn't find their Alice. And so finally, they went through, the garbage where I was, my headshot, pulled it out, oh, what the hell, let's give this chick a try. And auditioned with Tuesday. She was cast first because she was, reprising the role of Kristen. And read with her and had 1 call back, and then I learned on my honeymoon that I had gotten a Nightmare on Elm Street. So ever since then, and now today, over 30 years later, this is what we're looking at, and I had no idea the franchise would flourish as much as it did. I mean, 4 was top of the box office, but all these years later, and here it is, and people still are saying how Alice inspired them and got them through bed. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just like a gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So I guess how we can describe it. So, and it helped launch me into act, bigger roles and opportunities and that kind of thing for sure. Okay, it would have been shorter, but Brooke was a pain.
I just want to know if you're going to do this to me. No, I'm totally kidding. You're adorable. I'm kidding.
We love each other.
We love each other. Let's see. Before Nightmare, I had done a few things. Basically, I started out in music, so I did that first. I got a record deal, and I did that. And then there was somebody who said there was an audition for a show called Fame, which I'm sure you guys know. And they wanted somebody who looked like Madonna. And so I guess they had seen 1,000 people. Anyways, I got that part, which led to an audition with Annette Benson for Nightmare on Elm Street. And
Always thought you looked like
have you?
No, always.
Oh my
Even when
God.
you were singing up here, what did I say to you?
Really? Did you have amazing pictures back then of
And you
Madonna
so much
look-alike.
like Madonna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Anyway.
She's in shut up, Brooke. She's in a special ed class right now. She's like, Brooke, thank you very much. Thank you for adding that.
Yes, anyway, so after I got Nightmare, it opened a lot of doors, and I started doing movies, and I had brought Brooke along with me so she could actually audition for me because, you know, she would do the talking for me. But anyway, since then I did the song in Nightmare on Elm Street, which was really amazing, and I was so grateful for that. And since then I've been able to do a lot of title songs for other movies, and have a couple movies I'm doing this year, and one coming out with Lisa actually at the end of the year called The Bloody Man, which I hope you guys will see. And yeah.
We don't have any scenes together, but we are in the same movie.
But we are in the same movie and the same poster. Yes. So that's kind of my story. Brooke, it is your time.
I've already taken up my allotted time.
Okay, so then I'll go.
Don't do it to me.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I
You're itching your pants right now.
have no story to tell.
I just make a ruckus.
Just make a ruckus. Anyhow, so I had done just the 10 of us for about a season, and then on hiatus I auditioned for Nightmare on Elm Street. See, now he's taking my line now. No, I'm kidding.
Everyone, Don Johnson.
Don Johnson.
Hey, I gotta do my cameo.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Here's your baby, Lisa.
Yeah. Look what we found on the way to the forum. My goodness.
I gotta go.
Great.
He's a little deformed or something.
Anyhow,
Are you saying something about my child?
I think he did it. I don't know who he did that with.
He's got quite the jiggly head. So then my toy's giving me a finger wagging over her eyeballs. She's not even a mother going, darling. Anyhow, so I went back to just the 10 of us after I filmed Nightmare, and I was blessed to be on that show for a couple of seasons. So that was kind of my focus after that. And then so I did mostly television. I would love to do another horror movie one day.
Gosh, I was working a lot in television, Different Strokes, 227, and then I was up for a role on A Different World, and it was Cree Summers' role, Freddie, and I just really wanted it. I was focusing on it, and then Nightmare came up, and it was really juxtaposed right next to my audition with Nightmare on Elm Street. And so when my agent finally called me and said, "You booked a role," and I was like, yes, because Debbie Allen fame was like my hero. I danced on tables and got in trouble and stuff. And so I was like, I got A Different World. And she's like, no, honey, you got A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I was like, well, okay. Because I didn't really watch horror movies. My father, when I was 5 years old, took me to go see The Shining. And and so he didn't tell my mother, and then we went to dinner that night, and we're all sitting around the dinner table because we did that as a family. And I was very, very quiet, and my mom finally looked at me and said, "Joy, what is wrong with you?" And, you know, I got the nerve up inside of me, and I said, "Daddy's gonna kill us." You know? So it kind of scarred me, horror movies. So when I got the movie, I was like, I had never seen Nightmare 1, because I'm truly scared of horror movies. I believe it. I buy into it. I remember when I came to visit you on set, when you were filming in the boiler room up in Pasadena.
Yeah, and
and
you were free.
I walked up this dirt road, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out with Tuesday and say hi. And Robert came over the hill, and I was like, ah! And he was just like, "Get that toy. Now listen to me, honey. We gotta shoot, and you can't." Like, I was legitimately scared. So after that, after Nightmare, I took the ride, and I ended up getting 2 seasons later A Different World. And Jada Pinkett ended up taking over my role, so that was short-lived. And yeah, and then I kind of did a couple more movies, independent movies, and then some commish and a lot of the, NYPD Blues and blah, blah, blah. And then I moved over, I had my Me Too moment, and I was screen testing for a movie, and I was told some things of how I could actually get that job. And I
thought I went wonder how that was.
Yeah, you know, and I had never, because I'd been a child actor since I was 5, and so I broke down. I said some things to this man. They told me I shouldn't have said. My agent ended up firing me. It was like a debacle.
Wow.
And so I walked off the lot, and I was in tears, and I ran into a producer that had hired me when I was 16 years old, and I told him, you know, I was like, this, I was 25, I was like, this is what just happened. And he's like, come meet me at my office on Monday. And I thought, oh God, another one? And, you know, and I went though. My mom's like, no, you gotta trust, you gotta get back on that horse and don't let someone, and he ended up getting me a job at Quentin Tarantino's A Band Apart, and I started producing and directing and writing from there.
She dropped it again.
We teach her in class, I'm like, it's gonna stay there until we're done now. Obviously, you know, there's such a great camaraderie between this cast. In fact, you guys were here a few years ago, and we had the guys here as well. And I think that infectious, you know, energy between you guys is part of the reason that we love Dream Master so much, because these are people you'd want to hang out with, people you'd want to, you know, be silly with, and there's a real chemistry. Like there's the frightful, you know, there's the Freddy stuff, but yet there's the moments in the diner, you know, and really great stuff. Like, did Rennie give you guys a lot of time to come together as a group, or was it just, it all came naturally?
Well, I like to say that Annette Benson did amazing casting. She cast friends for life, because these ladies are friends for life. And so many times you do a film or a TV series or whatever you're doing, and then when it's done, you never see those people again. You just don't. This group, of course, the conventions help, but we go out of our way to see each other in Los Angeles. I mean, we're honestly really, really tight friends. I don't know, Rennie, did Rennie give a lot of time? I know you guys were hanging out.
I think he did. I mean, I think it was also his input too with the cast, you know, because after Annette, then he had to go further with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it was really cool because when I was cast first, he, you know, brought Lisa in and all these people, and he was asking me my opinion. And it was funny because I said all these people were great, and they actually got cast. So it was really, really cool.
So really, it's thanks to Tuesday that we're in this movie.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think we had just a natural chemistry together, you know, and we really do, you know.
But Rennie did have that gathering where we kind of all got together. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then we got together a couple times before
times
that,
before
like
we
just to
started
get to know each
filming.
other.
I don't think I went.
You had to go.
I had to go.
To your, weren't you going to your married?
Well, yeah, because I got married. I had to call it back was on a Friday, and then got married on Sunday, and then was in Hawaii on my honeymoon when I learned I got the role.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't get to go to the gathering, so, and I had to leave my honeymoon early, and he's now my ex-husband because he wasn't happy that I had to leave for the honeymoon early and go to
He never forgave
big
her.
job.
Hang on to it.
Such one.
All right,
No,
sorry.
yeah, no, Rennie did bring us together. I always
Okay.
kind of credit him for bringing us together on those barbecues, a couple of barbecues, and we got to hang out. So I feel like the first day of shooting, we were all already connected because we were kind of friends already. When you're young like that, you're like, you know, you're like desperate to like connect, and especially with fellow actors, and we were all young and newbies, and you know, so.
Yeah, and they stuck us together immediately. Like
I know.
we shared a dressing
Yeah.
room.
Toy was my girl.
And then we actually found out that we wore the same prom dress the same year before. And it was so 80s, like it was, you know, black sequins with the taffeta white down here. It was hung with these little
Love
black
that. Well, at
dresses.
least
Didn't you think it was like the best dress ever? I mean, and then I look at it now, I'm like, what? And then my hair was up in this big thing. And so when I showed her my dress, I don't know how we even got on it. We showed pictures. We're like, oh, we're really meant to be friends.
Who did you share a dressing room
You
with?
guys had your own.
I had my own.
Did you, they put me with Andros, so that was the first step.
Oh, that was interesting.
Did they really?
Yes,
male, female? Well,
It was split in the middle like
we
that.
had the accordion doors, and
Yeah.
we would just
Yes.
open ours.
Yeah.
So we had one big living room.
I kept mine closed over for a while. Then I opened it.
In so many ways.
It was the karate, wasn't it?
Or the hair.
It was the hair.
The singing, the guitar.
How long did you guys date?
3 years. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. I know we should open up to the floor, but I've always wanted to ask this, Brooke. I recently spoke to Screaming Mad George about, and he spoke very, very highly of you. And I would love to hear about your experiences in your transformation scene, because this franchise has a lot of really great moments for effects, but I still think the cockroach scene is probably one of my very favorites ever.
Yeah, Screaming Mad George is just stupid talented, and he's really, if you've never, if you're not friends with him on Facebook or have ever seen like him being interviewed, he's this little teeny Asian guy with a massively different colored hair, purple, green, orange, you name it, and he laughs at everything. Like everything is funny. Like
The crazy laugh.
yeah, and it was like, oh my god, I think I love this man. And yeah, so my transformation probably took about, like if I were to count the days, probably about 2 weeks from the beginning of the cat, and then all the molds that you are tortured to yeah, and you go through those too. I remember I showed up at his studio and he walks in, he had put literally a cockroach motel in the alleyway and brought it in because he wanted to dissect and look very intricately at the cockroach anatomy.
Oh, wow.
And so he walks in with a roach motel and it's like packed, like, roaches oozing out of it. And I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? So we did the molds, face mold, body mold, all of that fun stuff. And then I had 3 sets. So we went from the workout room to the shrinking hallway to the actual cockroach motel. And we shot that probably over a week. I think maybe 5 days. The workout room and the hallway were, I think, 2 days, and then another 2 days maybe for the actual death scene. So it was probably some of the hardest work I'd ever done. And for everybody that doesn't know, I actually moved my cockroach arms. They weren't mechanical, so I had these little cups that I kind of put my elbows in, and then we had draped skin, and then you did all of the painting on them. And then I put my arms, they were almost like giant sleeves, and I had a little handle, and then I moved them. They were all on hinges, so it was very fun.
Because I remember I was doing my special effects down the hall so I was just mesmerized because this big, huge hallway and she gets trapped. And so I'd always go over and watch her. But then I just remember when Freddie said, Brooke, can you make cockroach noises?
I was just going to ask about
And
that.
I just was like,
I know, it's like, what do cockroaches make noises? Yeah, so then I was like, what do bugs sound like? So I'm like, I feel like I'm in acting class. Be a bug, okay.
that's when I knew I loved you.
You just mentioned it, Toy. How did you have a good experience going through your?
I loved
process?
it. I was like, oh, this is what the horror movie's all about. I love this. First, they sent me to go learn how to ride a 63 Vespa and have the gears and everything. And I loved it so much, I kept pretending that I didn't really quite get it. They were like, well, come back tomorrow. I was like, okay. And I got it the first day, but I really enjoyed myself. And then that is definitely your daughter. Yeah. That is.
She's pulling focus over there. Her daughter? This is her daughter.
That is Aubrey, but we love her. And then, I don't know, it was just a fun process. I just remember they put the mold on my face and the cast, and I love that she's trying to reprimand her daughter right now after the whole thing she just went through. This is classic. And anyway, so it was a fun experience. Mike Strawn, and who's a dear friend of all of us on Facebook as well, is just really classic. And but they did kind of throw things in. They're like, hey, Toy, we made this mechanical hand that's going to eat your face. And I said, well, it's not in the script. But by then the script was kind of out the window.
We didn't have a script anymore.
But anyway, it was gone. And I was just like, well, where is that, the mechanical hand? Like, no, we just thought of it last night. We just roll with it. And when it hits your face, you're gonna push, and there's a guy laying underneath the table with the hand up in the face, and I was like, hey, this is cool. And I don't even know to this day, like what that was. People ask me, and I'm like, what do you think? I don't know.
But it like worked. Like I never questioned it. I was like, of course, there's a mechanical hand.
Right, because she has a mechanical mind.
Yeah.
And maybe we had just built that gadget too, so it was,
Yeah.
to me it was like an extension of this gadget.
There you go. I love it. I'll take it all. So,
I just love it when he says, "Wanna suck face."
yeah, you know, and it had no lines in there. It was just like want to suck face and I don't know. I mean, you know, quite frankly, I don't want to.
You say no so good.
Yeah. Can you believe that? I say no really well. Just say no. Anyway, so it was a fun experience.
We have time for a couple questions. Do we have anybody who has anything else? You start, yes.
I was just gonna ask about that. Are there a lot of jerks that, because your scene's iconic and there's like a catchphrase with it, do people come up and say that to you all the time?
You want to suck face?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time. All the time. I was actually traveling to the airport with my boyfriend fairly recently, and someone, you know, I think God bless you if you ever recognize me. I'm just such a little character, and so it's funny, and they're like, oh my God, you want to suck face? My boyfriend looked at me and was like, do you know this guy? I was like, so honey, I forgot to tell you.
Do we have more questions? Come on guys, don't be shy. It's okay. There you go.
I had a question about something. So when we look at horror movies, we think of the acting as very serious, tension build, dramatic. But then when we kind of see the backgrounds, a lot of goofing off, having fun. What was it like in that movie in particular? Were you trying to draw the tension, or were you just having a blast? You know.
I think a little bit of both. You know, when the camera stops, hopefully you're able to just kind of disconnect and have fun, and because you're working, which is it's really
Yeah.
miracle. Pinch. But when the camera rolls, you do the best you can, and you do take it seriously. Yeah.
I remember Robert would kind of just tell stories. It would be about like, so I'm gonna peel an apple, and everyone's like, and he's like, great, let's do that. We're going to set up the lights, and everything's going to happen. And then Robert would be like, so Toy, let's talk about Othello. Okay, because I went to high school for the arts, so you know he knew I was all into theater work, and I said, sure, let's and I said the word Macbeth, and he's like, never say it, you know why? And it was like a 20-minute, and I think everyone was kind of like, what do we do now? And Robert's like, okay, now I'm gonna come get you. And I was like, so it was great. I mean, for me, Robert was wonderful and fun.
Do you remember when we were in his trailer and those people?
Start shaking the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, there was a mob at San Pedro, and it was because she was so hot in her bathing suit, like to die for. And they found out that Robert was there, and again, I would always go visit Tuesday on set. I don't know what I was just like, oh, you're on set, I'll come visit you. But, you know, what else am I on off today?
Oh, come on, you liked.
Oh, I loved you. And so, and they found out, and then we were in your dressing room just kind of talking with Robert, and next thing you know, we felt it doing this, and it was getting more violent, and we looked out the window, and there was people just pounding, and the news media
He
was
had to
there.
go out there, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have stopped, and then I think the production was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh,
Where do we go?
There was no security.
No, who knew at the time?
No, there wasn't.
I think we have time for one last quick question. Do we have anybody? Right there.
Dino.
Dino.
Were you guys able to see the movie like opening weekend or when it first came out with double theater?
Who wants to take that one?
He did.
Okay. Yeah, so Friday night, it was a Friday night that it opened.
You remember.
Oh no, this was like, live for this. So in Westwood, so we decided, after the movie started playing, that all of us young cast were gonna go in, and we sat in the back row, and we did this for about 3 weeks in a row. And it was really awesome because we got to experience the movie through your eyes, because when you know what's coming and you know your part, and you know what's gonna happen. And so it was so refreshing to sit back there, and it was so fun because people were laughing at things that, oh, they found that funny.
Yeah.
Oh, they're cheering. Oh, and it was so exciting. It was so exciting. So we were like addicted. And so we're like, we're coming back Friday.
And nobody knew we were there.
Nobody knew
It was
we
so
were
great.
there.
We just snuck out. Yeah.
It was really wild. I'll never forget that opening night. My dad was so excited and so proud. I'm a little girl from Missouri, you know what I mean? And so, it's met a lot of you from Missouri, right on. And so he was just so excited. So, both my parents, but so they rented a limousine and they bought grandma. Because Dad wanted me to pull up in style, and I'll never, ever, ever forget it. And then I think that night I had the party.
Yeah,
At the
It's a
Sherman's
fabulous
house.
party.
And a party at my in-laws' house in Beverly Hills, and had a really fun party. I still have pictures of that.
Do you?
Yeah, you're wearing a hat.
Oh my God, we're wearing a hat.
You know, it's
You're wearing a
funny.
hat.
I remember when
I
I
still
met
like to
you.
wear hats. Oh, really?
Well, I remember when I met you, Lisa, because we were so always reading a book, and you had red hair, and she's kind of always really frumpy and kind of away from us.
And then she's like at the party.
And then
you're
she's like, I would love for you to come to my engagement party or whatever, a birthday or wedding, some party for your wedding, right?
Yeah, it was.
Was it for my wedding?
No,
or
it was just- it was
I
just
thought
an
it was
after
Oh,
party.
it was an after party. It was
I didn't
definitely an
know.
after
So
party.
I was like,
Because I had the whole cast.
all I know is
you.
I showed up and the pearly gates of heaven opened to this big mansion. I was like, oh my gosh, she's rich. That's right. I just was like,
Yeah, it's like Beverly Hills. We're going great.
oh, it was great. My clunker was coming up the road. I had a Nissan Sentra. I was like, oh shit, I should have done something. I don't know.
I should have rented a car.
Something. Wasn't thinking.
Wonderful. Well, I think we're officially out of time, but ladies, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, let's go.
Thank you.